Now on to the greatest topic of all time. The Philadelphia Eagles, what the hell is going on? That's all I wrote. What the hell is going on? Or at least that's all I wrote for the header. So for those who are unaware, the Eagles made the trade of trades earlier today. They traded down from the number 6 overall pick to the number 12 pick in exchange for that 12 pick and then a first next year. And, a lot of people on Twitter and social media in general are saying that this is a good trade. They need more picks. They're a rebuilding team. Yes, that is true. But the Dolphins will be good next year. And so this first round pick, might as well be like an early second. They're not going to, the first rounder is going to be late either way. And if they make the playoffs and they make a playoff run, then that pick basically becomes a second round pick. Out of all the moves the Eagles have made the past 2 years, this might be one of the worst. And I'll tell you why. Not only did they trade down when they could have had Jamar Chase, but what they wanted to do was they wanted originally to get the number 3 pick. So first of all, you're going down from the number 3 pick to the number 12 pick just by virtue of expecting that number 3 pick, which wound up going to the 49ers in return. But do you know why Howie Roseman wanted the number 3 pick in the draft? Do you know who he wanted to draft? He wanted to draft Zach Wilson, the QB. He already doesn't have confidence in Hurts. And yet he was the one that traded Wentz away. So what's the idea? You just brought in Flacco. He's going to be the backup. I thought the idea... This is... I don't know what Howie's mindset is. Because you have Jalen Hurts, right? Actually, you know what? Let's go back farther than that. You have Carson Wentz. Let's say that after the season ended. The expectation... I think a lot of Eagles fans were talking about Wentz being traded, but what the organization itself was saying was that Wentz wouldn't be traded. Wentz was going to stay. And they brought in Nick Sirianni, who was the coach under Frank Reich, because they thought that Sirianni would be able to get Wentz back to form. This past year he had a really bad season. Before that, I don't think they should have traded Wentz. He had one bad season. He'd been great before that. It's not his fault they don't have an O-line. But the message from the organization was that, okay, we're keeping Wentz. Nick Sirianni is going to teach him. He's going to coach him. He'll be back to where he was before. I don't know why they chose Sirianni over Bieniemy or even Josh McDaniels, but I'm just saying what the organization was saying, what they thought, what they wanted. And then the message was that, oh yeah, we're trading Wentz. All of a sudden, we're trading Wentz. So we brought in Nick Sirianni to coach up Wentz, get him back to form, and now Wentz is going. And he wound up going to Indianapolis, which is funny because we basically traded one of their coaches for our QB. Colts definitely got the better end of that deal. Are you kidding me? I mean, they got the only piece that they were missing in a QB. And Wentz is going to be good next year. Because you know who Wentz worked for when they won the Super Bowl? He worked for Frank Reich. Now he's working for Frank Reich again. So anybody that says, oh yeah, Wentz sucks, he's going to be a bust, he's not going to do well next year. No, you are completely wrong. So they trade Wentz, and now Hurts is a number 1 guy. And so we're rallying around Jalen Hurts. And then all of a sudden, today we find out that Howie Roseman wants Zach Wilson. They brought in Joe Flacco, like I said, to coach up Hurts, to, kind of give him a little bit of guidance, in addition to Sirianni. Hurts was going to have all these guys at his disposal to talk to, and he was going to be QB1, and Flacco was going to back him up if he needed to. And then all of a sudden, now the Eagles are interested in Zach Wilson. Now Hurts isn't their QB going forward. They don't have confidence in them. What is the message? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What is the path back to the playoffs? You are a rebuilding team. People that say, and this, I have to admit, I like the trade a little bit because I'm glad that they got another first round pick. I don't like that it's a late first round pick, but I think that it's a good idea if you're drafting down to get another first rounder in return. When I originally saw this, I was angry because I thought it was a second rounder. It's not a second rounder, it's a first rounder at least. But you can tell that Howie does not have any idea what he's doing. You can't mess up. I think if you're an Eagles fan right now, you have to be concerned because you can't mess up drafting at number 6 unless you're David Gettleman and the New York Giants. But you can't mess up at number 6 because you're going to get somebody that's good either way. Number 12, there's a lot more room to mess up. I don't know who they're going to get with a number 12 pick. I don't really care about the NFL too much. And, like, the draft and all that. I mean, whatever. Yeah, like, I like watching live sports more than all the business decisions and stuff like that. Except for, like, trade deadline days. But the fact that you were willing to put Jalen Hurts down to QB2 after the message from the organization the past month since they traded Wentz has been Hurts is QB1. And now all of a sudden he's not. Now all of a sudden we're going after another QB. Who are we going to draft? Mac Jones? What's the idea, Howie? What way are we going? We're not a wide receiver away from winning a Super Bowl. We're just not. It's going to take a lot more than that. We need an O-line, first of all. We need a better defense. We're getting better defense now. We're getting a better secondary. And so, that's good there. We need better coaching, first of all. I think a lot of Eagles fans that think that we're a wide receiver away, and if we get a wide receiver and he's good next year, they're going to be massively disappointed when we go 6-10 because Nick Sirianni has never called a play in his professional coaching life. What's the idea? What are we doing? Are we rebuilding? Are we going to the Super Bowl? What's the idea? Who are we drafting? What is the course of action? I mean, even in his worst days, you at least got the impression that Sam Hinkie knew what he was doing. And he wound up, that wound up being really successful, actually, for the Sixers, because they wound up getting Embiid and Simmons because of Sam Hinkie. I would say that Howie Roseman, without a doubt, is the worst general manager in recent Philly sports history. At least he's the worst of all the GMs right now. Matt Klentak, Chuck Fletcher, they don't even compare. I mean, we get pressed about Chuck Fletcher because he's not making any moves when we could have Matthias Ekholm, or we could be tanking right now, or we could have Forsberg, or we could be shipping off Gostisbehere and everybody with a number and a name on the back of their jersey over to every other team in the league. The problem with Howie Roseman is he has no idea what he's doing, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious. He has no idea what course of action he should be taking and how to improve this team going forward. He doesn't know what a rebuild is. He doesn't know what a contention is, or what contention for a championship is. He has literally no idea what he is doing right now. And so, the next time you're ranting about Chuck Fletcher or Matt Klentak or whatever the Ernst Tanner, the Union guy. I mean, Ernst Tanner has been really good, though. It was the guy before him that was just ridiculous. But, like, we need to stop. We need to be lighter on these guys. On Klentak, on Fletcher, on all the other GMs. On Morey, especially. Because Roseman, Howie has no idea what he's doing. It's just as simple as that. He just doesn't know what he's doing. It's At this point, it's not even going to be worth watching this team next season. They're going to be the worst team in the league, without a doubt. No matter who they get in the draft, they're going to be the worst team in the league. Jalen Hurts could wind up throwing for like 5,000 yards. They'd still go 6-10 because they don't really have a run game. They don't really have an O-line. Throw 5,000 yards and like 40 interceptions because you can't run and you don't have an O-line. Anyway, it's sad. Philly sports are sad at the moment. At least the things that I talk about with the championships, like who I think has the best chance of the championship of the next year. I think you can kind of start splitting this down a little bit more, or like making like a tier list of teams with chances to win a championship. You've got your teams that have a chance, your teams that maybe have a chance, and your teams that don't have a chance at all. And then the Eagles. The Eagles are below the teams that don't have a chance at all. Tier 1, Sixers. Tier 2, Union and Phillies. Tier 3, Flyers. Tier 4, Eagles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean it's either the Sixers are going to win the NBA Finals or Philly isn't going to win a championship for at least 24 months, I guess.